Today we are watching the greatest movie ever made by Dolph Lundgren.
Black is like the brightest day. Where are the heroes? Soon as they get here, everything will be alright.
Our council was to watch the greatest movie ever made by Dolph Lundgren. The Masters of what? The Masters
universe.
of the Universe.
I thought we were supposed to watch Rocky 4.
What?
Yeah, same thing.
So, Masters of the Universe came out in 1987. It was directed by Gary Goddard. It starred Dolph Lundgren and Frank Langella, who was a masterful performance as Skeletor. Masterful performance. And it kind of...
Okay, whoa.
No, wait.
Do not gloss over Meg Foster.
Great. Yeah.
Yes,
Evil Lynn.
It was phenomenal as Evil Lynn as well. She was.
Thank you.
She was. So this movie came on like the heels of like Master of the Universe had been out for like a couple years already. It was really popular, and they needed to push a movie.
Yeah.
And I remember. Yeah, how I remember this is that my parents used to sometimes send me to Puerto Rico for the whole summer, right? and it was like at that time in Puerto Rico, my grandparents had cable. So when you turn on the TV over there, you only saw like a couple channels. But when I came back after the month or so, my dad was like, "So you want to go see Masters of the Universe?" I was like, "What are you talking about?" And he showed me the commercial. I was like, "Oh, yes, we must go see. We must go see." And I remember the beginning, and when I watched the movie again yesterday, the beginning was great.
Yeah, well, everybody says that.
With the voiceover, and then they show Castle Grayskull.
I mean, are we just going to gloss over the graphics with the lettering?
The Superman, I know, the Superman intro.
Not even the Superman, I'm talking this rainbowy crap. I mean, it was not great.
At that time, it matched.
That was state of the art for that year.
Yeah, because you know what? That matched the cartoon.
That's my one note from this movie is it had decent effects. I wouldn't call them special.
Okay.
I like that one right there, like the rotoscope whip, like it was pretty dope.
Yeah, I was gonna say again, we got to keep it in perspective. This was 87?
Mm-hmm.
Right,
Yeah.
but I'm talking. I'm biased, obviously. Star Wars came out before this, and the effects are still better than this.
Yeah. Also,
Yeah.
Canon Films only. No, of course, but like, look, Canon Films was doing this on a shoestring budget, which we
That's
could
fair.
we could very much empathize with. And go for it, Gorgains.
Oh well, this movie pretty much bankrupt Canon Films.
Is that right?
It did. They got the rights to Superman 4, and that didn't make that much money, and they put a lot of money into that, and they did their like karate movies like Missing in Action and Invasion USA. And this license came up, and they put all their money into it, and the rest is kind of, it didn't do well, and we'll get to that, in a few. But they tried with this. Canon put a lot of money into it. They didn't have enough, and I think they put so much money into the way certain characters looked. And what people hate is when it leaves Eternia and goes to like Earth, and that's where all the budget went into those special effects that weren't so special, and that's why it had to be an Earth, and that's the parts that kind of don't work. Back then, I think now they work, but as a kid seeing it, we were kind of disappointed.
Yeah, Earth wasn't never really part. The only time Earth was part of the story was later on in the cartoon where they revealed that the mother was from Earth.
I don't, I watched this movie. I own the Blu-ray. I've watched documentaries on it, and everyone that was involved loves the characters they played, and they had a good experience. Even Skeletor by Langella. He said even though putting on all that makeup was a pain in the ass, he adores that film, and his grandkids love seeing him as Skeletor.
He owns that mask. It's in his home.
Yeah, he loves it. Yeah, and you can tell they had fun. It's very campy. The thing that hurts it for me rewatching it as an adult is a few things. No vehicles from the cartoon. No Thundercat. No
Battlecat.
Battlecat. Battlecat and Orko kind of make the cartoon. They push the story along with humor. And then in this movie, they had the little ugly dude who looks like a
Gwildor.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Gwildor drinking gravy is a whole mood for me, and I'm never letting it go.
It's more horror, that character, than like charm.
Yeah.
Why
You're
exactly?
just mad because he
did,
blew
Tila have a big
Eargo out
deal?
on Tila
Why exactly did Tila have a problem eating ribs?
because they don't eat meat on Eternia.
Huh?
They don't eat their version of Eternia. They don't eat meat.
Yeah, they eat like fruit. They eat like kings. Like, well,
I mean, I guess, but
I mean, but what's his face? Man at Arms had to have eaten meat at some point because he knew exactly what it was when he was
and
eating
he was
it.
fine with it too. He's like, "Can I take some of this with me?" Almost.
and Man at Arms looked cool. He looked good. I think the
I
costume
thought that was
design
good. Yeah.
is really good. Beastman looked cool. Tila was, kind of weird, but they looked good. He-Man looked good. Dolph Lundgren had the physique. There's no Prince Adam angle, and that's fine because most kids didn't like Prince Adam because he was, girly.
Why did he have a cape on? Couldn't figure that out.
I don't know. They went for this more regal look. I didn't figure that out either.
Yeah.
But man,
Superman also wears a cape. That's I think why.
Yeah, probably.
if somehow Battle Cat was in it, it just would have really elevated it to
Listen, I thought they should have just stayed in Eternia.
I don't think they had the budget though, Cam.
Well, this was you gotta remember, this is the 80s. And the way to make things real back then was you gotta at some point it has to be on Earth.
Yeah.
You gotta show it on Earth.
No.
Otherwise, it's just some random nonsense.
Now, Green Shirt Guy. Now the Earth angle. There wasn't a ton of fish out of water things when characters from other planets come to Earth. They always have that angle. It always works. Maybe they didn't really play that at all. Not enough. I think maybe if they did that, it would have worked. They're just kind of like they're on Earth and they're fighting in like a stock room of like a mall, and then
What got me in that scene is she's running away from the bad guys and runs into his arms.
Mm-hmm.
How does she know he's not a bad guy? He's some
Right.
random dude.
That's
But,
true.
okay, and then immediately says, he's like, "It's okay, you're safe. I'll protect you." Da, da, da. And then proceeds to go in this huge battle, and then like, what? Why am I safe? If I just it just didn't.
Yeah.
And
Well,
then,
because he had like a nice blonde haircut and he's jacked.
and then
so,
they have the conversation about where the key is. Oh,
Yes.
my boyfriend has it. Oh, he's in horrible danger. Let's go find him.
Yeah.
You just told me I was safe. Why am I following you?
Yeah, and that as well. Like in the lore of MOTU, you need the two swords to make the power sword, and then that unlocks Castle Grayskull. But in this movie, they use like an organ that makes people.
Yeah, that's the thing. The sword is huge in MOTU.
Yeah, but
It's huge.
This is
It's
like
all
a key.
about the sword.
It's like the main thing. Like,
Yeah, but Skeletor doesn't want that. He wants this organ that puts like a special effect in the air.
yeah.
And even-
Which
Well, look, the organ is a MacGuffin, and it works
It
as
is
a
a MacGuffin.
MacGuffin because Gwildor even tries to free the sorceress with it because it can find a tune to teleport between any two spaces.
Yeah, sure.
So yeah, it makes a good MacGuffin. That actually didn't bother me
Yeah.
at all. Like, it didn't even phase me. Like, I was more phased by the lack of Battle Cat.
I agree.
The things
How
that
could they have
took me
done it
out
though?
of
No, I don't think they could have done it well.
is
yeah,
that
no.
you're right. The sword is a big deal. And why was Skeletor's sword not the same at the end? So you can at least tease that if you're going to make a
Sure.
second one.
Right.
Because he was in God mode.
He-Man shows up on Earth with this sword, but then proceeds to use a gun to fight everybody.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
what are we doing?
that threw me off too, and I was just like, He-Man doesn't use guns.
Yeah, He-Man doesn't use a gun. That's not his bag. Yeah, usually the villains in Man alone.
And it was like he's supposed to be the most powerful man in the universe,
Right.
and he's like struggling to throw dudes and stuff. And I'm like, he should just be like, like.
Yeah. I mean,
But
the
he's
whole movie,
not.
you're waiting for the "I have the power," which you get right at the end.
Right at the end.
Oh.
Like in the comic or in the TV show, you saw multiple times. So
Yeah, but he already has the power though. He's already jacked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not that Prince Adam was jacked too though, but
He should when he said, "I'll have the power," all his scars and everything should have came off.
Yeah,
Like, I feel like he should have been like rejuvenated. You know what I mean? Like boom.
Lightning should have struck the sword.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
boom, boom. Because that, like Larry said in the comics, let this be our final battle.
Yep.
Classic. When I was in, it's like, yes, let this be our final battle, and they go. That was one of my greatest moments in genre cinema.
Yeah.
Of all.
And this detective guy, what a waste!
Love it.
Why?
Lubbock is
The whole time I'm
classic.
going. Anytime
He-
Marty McFly's.
he's you know who he is. He's the principal from back.
Yeah, that's.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm just the whole time I'm thinking, didn't this guy ever have hair?
I enjoyed this guy in this movie though.
Yeah.
I thought he fit. I was like, if you're gonna go to Earth, this guy fits.
He reminded me of Bill Barr, like Bill Barr today, like would be that guy. If they remade this movie, that would be Bill Barr's Barr.
And then remember his choice at the end. He's like, "Why am I gonna go back home?
Right.
When I got all this here."
He made a great choice. I can't fault him.
Yeah.
He was like, "Did you see that rat hole we came from? No."
Right.
Nobody
see this
takes
woman
pot
on
shots
my
at
arm?
Lubbock.
That Barr was cool. He has a shotgun.
So, Toy Games, you've seen lots of documentaries on this film, as have I. You know this was originally, before Mattel got involved, this was pitched as a New Gods story.
Right.
Is that right?
And those discs, the disc on like He-Man's, those discs that they're floating around on is like one of the remnants of
Right.
like developing this for Fourth World New Gods Dark Side.
Right.
Really?
And those troopers that are like stormtroopers but in black.
Yeah.
I forget where that design came from. That's from something else as well. They did look cool though, but they're not from Masters of the Universe.
Not
at all.
at all.
No.
Well,
They're
and that
cool,
was
though.
the other thing that kind of took me out of it is you're sending your 4 best mercenaries with a group of random dudes.
Yeah.
Why do you need these guys if you're sending these 4?
Right.
Remember, he wanted to send enough to smoke it out, right?
Right,
but
but you're hand picking these 4. Then just hand pick 4 more.
yeah.
Right.
Budget.
They probably blew their wad on getting the license. They had some good actors and actresses in this movie.
And they spent a small fortune just building the set for Castle Grayskull.
Absolutely. That throne room looks pretty good.
Yeah.
All the characters look good. Dolph Lundgren is coming off Rocky IV, so he probably was asked for a bundle of money.
Mhm.
When you spend so much in budget here, you're not going to be able to use it there. And
Actually, wasn't there like a whole thing where he never even got paid in full?
probably. I'm sure. And I think Stallone like messed with him, like, dude, you're not an actor. How are you going to say your lines? And I think he did well, though. Well enough.
How
He
close
definitely
was
did well
this movie to Flash Gordon?
Very.
You know-
Close. I thought that with this and Flash Gordon.
I like that
very
better than
close.
Flash Gordon.
Well, no, I'm just saying the stuff on the bikes was very Flash Gordon. I'm like,
Yes.
they go see that and go, oh, we got to put that in our movie.
Well, a lot of
Yeah.
things are stolen from Flash Gordon. I think Star Wars.
Star Wars.
They definitely
yeah.
stole Skeletor's death from Star Wars.
Yeah, but Flash
That's
Gordon.
only the Emperor dying.
Yeah.
They had to come up with that. They had no more budget left for the final battle. All that lighting, Skeletor's death, all of
They
that
didn't
was
even have
we
money
had
for
no more
lights.
money.
They filmed that last scene. The lights went out. I got no money for lights.
I tell you what the movie does well though. The pacing is good.
It is.
Yeah.
No, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
You're never bored to tears.
Nope.
It
Yeah.
keeps moving. Something always happening. So I'll give it. It's not
I
like.
still enjoy Courtney Cox.
Oh yeah, yeah,
I love Courtney
absolutely.
Cox.
Who
Is
doesn't?
that pre-Bruce Springsteen video, Courtney Cox?
That's a good
Yeah.
question. I think it's.
No, I think this is after.
It is. I think it is after too.
I think.
But yeah, how about her boyfriend is Lieutenant Paris from Star Trek Voyager?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And how about we talked about this before, Cliff, that the sorceress is her mother and friends.
Yes, the sorceress is her mom on Friends.
Holy moly, that's funny.
the Easter eggs? Larry
And
says
don't forget,
he
don't
was
forget,
the highlight
if
of
we
the
wanna-
movie. You're talking
Skeletor
about
was.
Skeletor, yeah.
Yo,
Oh,
if we want to
Skeletor.
go one more, how about there's the whole episode about dressing up as Slave Leia for your boyfriend, and Chandler gets it in Ross's head that the fantasy is ruined the minute you picture your mom in
That's
that
right.
outfit, and at the end of the episode, his mom, her sorceress, comes out in the
That's right.
slave bikini.
Are you?
Right.
I'm
watched
gonna
episode
watch
last
that
week, I
after the
think.
show.
You got to just be like, what is this? You
I
do
gotta
get to
watch
see
that.
Jennifer Aniston in the outfit for a minute, so you'll enjoy that.
Okay, I might have to leave now.
He-Man. Let's talk Dolph Lundgren a little bit.
Okay.
I thought he looked great as He-Man.
Me too.
He did.
I thought what they did with him as He-Man was
Mediocre.
horrible. Mediocre,
thought-
you could say. But I was like, yo, he looks like He-Man.
Yeah.
Well, it must have done something right because Mattel re-released a figure from this movie and it sold out immediately. So they had to have done something right.
Only the He-Man figure from this movie.
Yeah, he sold out. So did Skeletor. That's
Wow,
Oh,
they
so, wait, Skeletor was the only one with a deep design that
Yeah.
I remember no one wanted the toys. Remember when Ames was still open,
I do.
right?
Yeah.
The toy department, the Masters of the Universe movie figures were just
87
stale.
though. Also, 87 is almost near the tail end of Masters, and Ninja Turtles and G.I. Joe kind of started to surpass Masters.
Masters particularly was fading at this time, and the movie did come out too late, you know.
Yes.
And apparently, much to my personal chagrin, the release of She-Ra actually was hurting the toy sales of He-Man.
That's the rumor. I don't. There's two schools of thought of the toy sales. One was She-Ra made it so boys didn't think it was cool anymore. But I think the real reason was they stopped production of Skeletor and He-Man. So say when you were 6, you were still playing with Play-Doh, and now you're 9 and you're ready to get into He-Man, and now He-Man and Skeletor aren't on the shelf, and it's just like Merman and Beastman. Who the heck are they going to fight? And that was a big issue.
Mm-hmm.
I think Lundgren looked great. I think his English was fine. I think if anything with his lines, the cadence of his voice was off. It almost it sounded like he was reading lines instead of just talking.
Sure. Well, Stallone said
other than that, I thought he was fine.
Yeah.
You know what? I actually didn't even hate his acting.
Yeah.
You know,
Like when saying, I thought he was fine.
like when he pulls Gwildor out of the swamp, he genuinely looks like he cares for this disgusting little creature.
There are moments. You're right. There are moments when Dolph Lundgren, you feel his compassion in that movie. You're like,
I think he nailed the superhero part of He-Man. If that makes sense to you guys, right?
Yeah.
Like when he grabs Courtney Cox, right? It's like you're safe, sure, but like I will protect you, you know. And like he cares about these characters like every moment. Like through, he is worried about his friends. He's worried about his new little Earth buddies, you know, and he throws himself into danger repeatedly to protect these people.
Yes.
I was just upset that he wasn't the main character.
But he kind of
He
is.
seemed like a supporting character.
Well, because he's there to be the brawn and not the brains. Gwildor is there to be the brains. Everybody else is there
But in He-Man, like he's the main character.
Right.
Yeah.
Again, because that show was called He-Man and the Masters of the Universe.
This is
But it's just called Masters of the Universe, right?
Okay.
And the heart of this film is Courtney Cox and her boyfriend Kevin. So, like, it's really hard to shift focus because they are actually our main characters. We're supposed to enjoy this adventure through them.
This is why you need the balance. So, Superman, without Clark Kent, there's no Superman, and you can't see what makes either so important. Prince Adam is sort of like the Clark Kent.
Yeah.
Without Prince Adam doing things and getting He-Man kind of into the trouble, it's hard to have just He-Man as the main character. So in the cartoon, you knew Prince Adam was He-Man, so he had dual roles. That's what makes him always like involved in the story, you know?
Yeah. And you would always throw something in there like he'd have to handle something as Prince Adam.
It was so fun. And then Cringer would be scared and Orko would get scared.
Wait, let's be real. Orko was less scared than Cringer. Let's be clear.
Orko was funny. Orko,
Orko was great.
I was gonna say Orko would try, and it would, and we'd get interesting results. One thing that upset me with Revelations, but I kind of like how they course corrected it in Revelations, was they ignored the episode where Orko tells his origin, and he actually was a powerful wizard, but like his wand broke when he saved Prince Adam when he came to Eternia, and I kind of wish that they had worked that back into the story. But I like how they kind of went with like, oh well, Orko like never lived up to being the oracle of his world, and then by returning from death, he achieved it. You know,
they killed the poor little guy.
Yeah, but he came back up badass. Let me tell you, I mean, it's not perfect Revelations, but there's many things I love. One is Evil Lynn's arc. Evil Lynn developing a friendship with Orko, I love so much, so much. You know, even when he's fighting her, even when he's using his magic to fight her, he's telling her, "Is this what you really want? Are you evil Lynn or just Lynn?" Like, I thought it was so cool that Orko wasn't trying to destroy her; he was trying to get her to see the truth. And then when she's like, "Nope, you don't have to go back to the afterlife, buddy." I love that so much. I was like, dude, is the one thing you nailed so perfectly in this series.
But that's the thing. Like, why couldn't you do Orko? Why'd you do Gwildor? You could have did Orko.
Orko would have been harder.
How's he gonna float around though and stuff? You know.
Yeah, I guess.
What they could have done was make maybe show him because they did Superman and he flew.
Maybe not have him fly.
Yeah, but
No,
legs. You know what I mean?
look at how shabby. Look at how shabby the flying is for Superman 4 by Canon Film.
Show him flying once, and then the rest of the movie just shoot from like the O up. You know, like
yeah. All right.
Why exactly didn't they use Orko as Gwildor?
I tried finding out, and I couldn't. I tried. I think
money had a lot to do with
money.
it.
You can. Well, toy companies do like to just invent new characters to sell toys. So
that's basically what it was.
Probably. And I think that got head warmed.
I will say the 2 new villains in this movie were quite interesting. I didn't hate them.
I love them.
Yeah, that one dude is freaking terrifying to look at.
With the hair going back?
Yeah, with the hair like that. The makeup team should be thrilled. They should be thrilled.
Which one are you talking about?
He has a hook hand and the hair going back.
The guy with the big hair.
Yeah, the big and the jag.
Oh, the little short guy. Yeah.
He did a great job with him.
Yes.
Yeah. And Blade, he was a new character.
He was weak though. Blade was weak.
Yeah. Wasn't yeah, but Blade was good. Like at least he tried to pose a threat, right?
He
like
did, but
He-Man could take him.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean. He's He-Man. Like one thrust from my power sword should knock you like a billion miles back.
Yeah, but he didn't have a power sword in this. He just had a sword.
No, he had a power. They mentioned a power sword.
I don't remember that.
Because they lock it in the thing.
Yeah.
To keep it from it. That's why when he says I have the power, we get the whole light effect is because the sword is important, just not as important as the cartoon.
So but before we get to numbers and stuff, I know it's going to come at the end. No one here hates the movie, right?
I do not.
Actually,
like I had like an appreciation for it watching because this is like one of the few movies like I think I like a lot because I watched it as a kid, as opposed to like if I went to it like today as like my first time seeing it, I probably wouldn't be like enjoyed it as much.
I wonder why, because this is like people tend to they opened up to this movie and they really like it now, and I wonder I don't really know why. You think we just give it a pass because we know now as adults that they didn't have the budget, or because it is just a fun movie.
I think it's a fun movie. It's very Flash Gordon too. Like this was a Saturday afternoon movie. If you had WPIX, you had this and Flash Gordon like every other weekend.
Yeah.
This was my first time seeing it because I didn't see it when it came out.
Okay.
For whatever reason, my parents wouldn't take me to see it.
And you're a tough critic, Green Shirt guy. So
I tried. Yeah. I tried to be fair at least.
That's fine.
I enjoyed it. I mean, like I said, coming from. I mean, I didn't watch the cartoon every day, but I did watch it a lot. So there's a lot of things that I had preconceived notions expecting to see in the movie and didn't. But then I bought in. I'm like, okay, they're going a different direction. But it was all for the most part worked. There was some, like I said, the thing with the gun kind of took me out. I was like, all right, that doesn't make any sense. But I guess this He-Man uses a gun. So for the most part, like I enjoyed it. It wasn't like, oh, this is garbage. I can't believe.
I mean, look in the movie this week. Yeah. In the movie theater, he's holding the gun in the movie poster. Like as a kid, I was like, "This is right." Yeah, like look
right there.
Right there. Okay.
Yeah, like it was like I was like, "Oh, this is a little off."
Yeah.
To be honest with you, the first time you see Skeletor, I'm like, "Ooh," and then I went, all things being, this isn't that bad.
Yeah.
The mask wasn't actually terrible. It could have been better, but it wasn't awful.
I mean, as soon as he said, "I'm Skeletor," I was like, "Yes."
I don't know how to get Frank Langella to do this movie.
Right, but like Frank Langella is like has the gravitas to pull this shit off.
Absolutely.
And then when Evelyn was like, "Grayskull is ours," and he's like, "No, mine."
That dude, he went all in. That guy, he probably was like, if I'm gonna sit here and put this damn makeup on for 6 hours, I'm gonna ham it up and go all in.
And Skeletor is the character to do it with, and that's why it's great.
Yeah. Just a couple comments here. Larry says 2 thumbs down on Revelations. 2 thumbs down. I like that. I give it 1 thumb up. And Larry Jack, Will David always thought it was money issue why they didn't do Battle Cat or
definitely money issues involved.
Oh yeah.
He says, sorry, talk to Text to Drive. Don't text and drive, Larry.
No.
We can't promote that on this show.
Definitely not.
We want you safe for a future Transformers show.
Yeah, just play it through the radio, and that's good.
So final numbers. I'll give my number. I'll give this. I give it an 8 because I enjoy it and I have a personal love for Masters of the Universe. Phil.
I'm gonna give it a 7 because I still did enjoy this movie, and I'm reading like the He-Man newspaper comic strips right now, and like He-Man is something you could always still like go back to and really enjoy. So, it's a 7, and the movie like it's a fun movie. It's like a Flash Gordon, a little bit of a Star Wars knockoff, like a Flash Gordon, fun thing though. So it's a good 7 film.
Nice, Cliff.
And overall, for an adaptation from a cartoon, it's pretty well considering like the cartoon they adapted. Like this could have been.
You're right.
So much more verse, and this comes off like, wow, you guys did a pretty decent job with it overall.
Cliff,
it probably deserves less, but I am giving it an 8. I loved it as a kid. I still enjoy it now. Meg Foster kills it as Evil Lynn as much as Frank Langella is killing it as Skeletor. I love every moment with them. I love what she does to Courtney Cox's character to get the key from her, posing as her mother, and like it's not even a big magical effect, It's like your father and I had to pretend we died, and like your friends don't understand. Like it was just like I just love that crap, and it just works. It's like, man, you put the evil in your evil in, and of course let this be a final battle. Like there's so few 80 movies that like pull that crap off.
Greatness. Green shirt guy.
So before I give my review, I just thought of something when you said that. So at the end of the movie, when they send them back and they go through the gate, which the effects, did they send them back in time then, right?
Correct. Yes.
Wildor sent them back in time.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
He kind of did it without her asking, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't give it an 8. I'm going to give it a 7.5. I really did enjoy it. First time seeing it. Oddly enough, this is a movie I can watch with my kids, unlike some of the other ones we watched the last couple weeks. I think I would go back and watch this again. I enjoyed it.
Cool.
It's not great. It has its drawbacks, but I'm willing to look past them. I enjoyed it.
It had the post-credit scene.
It was great.
Yeah.
The first
post-credit scene
ever, I think. But wait, Toy Games, what's your number on it?
All right. Before I give it a number, movies that I've seen in my life that were kind of propelled because of toys, even though Ninja Turtles had a graphic novel. So the Ninja Turtles movies, the 90 Ninja Turtle movie is probably the perfect toy then movie. And then G.I. Joe is like the bottom, right? This is past G.I. Joe. So it's past the 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 5. It's right around a 7. So Turtles for me is a 10, that live action one. G.I. Joe is like a 2. This is right above the midpoint, which is fine. And I have a lot of fun. Each time I watch it, I forget how much fun it is. I do own it on Blu-ray, and I highly recommend, for what they had budget-wise, I think a 7 is fair, All
right. So it's about an average of 7.5 all around.
Yeah.
What do you guys out there think? Leave a comment below. Let us know what you think about Masters of the Universe, the greatest movie ever made.
Wow.
Dolph Lundgren.
Featuring Dolph Lundgren.
I don't know. Rocky 4 is pretty good. This is
the greatest movie ever made.
Yeah, but
By
he doesn't
Dolph
get
Lundgren.
this movie. He doesn't get this movie if he doesn't do Rocky 4.
This world has been cruel to us.